I don't know how long I've been crawling, time has lost all meaning, pain, sharp and immediate, is my only companion. Each movement sends shards of glass deeper into my flesh, each shard a reminder of my torment.
He cried out, a strangled sob lost in the echoing darkness. No one would hear, no one could help. He had to keep moving. The compulsion was a living thing, a parasite in his mind. It whispered of obedience, of surrender.
I fought back, but the effort is draining, I'm so tired.
He clung to a single fragile hope, the dying swan. She held the key, the only way to break free. William had to reach her before the light in her eyes faded completely, before it was too late for both of them. William the Ducky was no stranger to struggle. He had spent his life railing against control, against those who sought to manipulate and command.
The marshes whispered tales of my defiance. They spoke of my victories against predators far larger than myself, of my unwavering spirit in the face of overwhelming odds.
He had always believed in the power of his own will. Mind games were for the weak, for those who allowed themselves to be controlled.
I would never be one of them. I would fight, beak and claw, for every inch of my freedom.
But this time was different. This time, the enemy was not flesh and blood, but something far more insidious. It was a darkness that had seeped into his very being, twisting his thoughts, dictating his actions. And this time, William was losing. The bronze pendant felt cold against his skin, a tangible weight in the midst of the nightmare. It was more than just metal, it was a conduit, a key to unlocking forgotten magics.
The dying black swan, once a mistress of whispers and shadows, held the knowledge to activate its power. She was fading, her lifeblood seeping into the earth.
The vibrant, powerful sorceress she once was had become a frail echo of her former glory. Her magic, however, was not entirely extinguished. It lingered, a faint ember waiting for the breath of life. This pendant, a relic of her past, held the potential to reignite that spark, to break the chains of mental enslavement that bound William.
I clung to that hope, even as doubt gnawed at the edges of my mind.
The journey to her was a blur of pain and obedience. The compulsion drove him onward, a cruel puppet master pulling at his strings, but the thought of the swan, of her power and her plight, fueled his resolve. He found her in a hidden grove, nestled amongst the roots of an ancient willow. The air hung heavy with the scent of decay and fading magic. Her eyes, once burning with power, were dull and clouded with pain.
But as I stumbled towards her, a flicker of recognition sparked within them. I offered her the pendant, a silent plea in my gaze.
The swan, her movements labored and slow, reached out a trembling talon. Her voice, when she spoke, was a raspy whisper, barely audible above the rustling leaves.
The book, the one hidden. Use it. The powers. Distract.
She coughed, a splatter of blood staining her ebony feathers.
I understood. The book. A grimoire of forbidden knowledge hidden deep within the marshes. It contained rituals, incantations, powers that could shatter the mind and warp reality itself. Powers that, in my desperation, I was now willing to unleash.
He left her side, the compulsion momentarily forgotten in the face of a new, terrifying purpose. He would do whatever it took to break free, even if it meant unleashing horrors he couldn't comprehend. Even if it meant becoming the very thing he had always fought against.